here with International Freelancers Academy. You know, there's been a lot of talk lately about the age-old elevator speech. Many freelancers and solo professionals are asking whether it's still important to have one in this era of websites, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so forth. Some have gone as far as saying that elevator speeches are no longer relevant, that they're outdated and dying a slow death. And you know, I got to tell you, I don't buy any of it. Elevator speeches will always be an essential element of your marketing toolbox. But I do agree that what needs to change is how we approach and craft these messages. Now, considering how simple a concept it is, elevator speeches generate quite a bit of confusion. All an elevator speech is a statement that succinctly describes what you do. It should be short enough that you could deliver it during a quick elevator ride, or at least that's the theory. So, should you strike up a conversation in an elevator with a stranger and she asks you what you do for a living, you could give her a good idea of what you do by the time you got to the lobby. Of course, elevators aren't necessarily the best place to engage in that kind of conversation, but don't laugh, because I actually once had a stranger in an elevator at a conference ask me what I did for a living. It caught me completely off guard. I wasn't ready for him. Now, here's why I think so many people bash elevator speeches. First of all, you're not supposed to deliver an actual speech. Obviously. Traditionally, the idea was to deliver your message in 30 seconds or less, but frankly, if you're talking for more than 15 seconds, you're saying way too much. In fact, I think they should be called elevator statements, not speeches. So work on what you need to say in a very succinct way, and make sure to include the big three elements that we discuss in our book, The Wealthy Freelancer. What you do, for whom, and why you're different. Also, don't make the mistake of trying to cram everything you do into a short statement. You just don't have the room. So keep it simple by focusing on your core value and your main differentiator. And try to resist the temptation to rattle off every one of your service offerings. At the same time, your elevator statement should be tailored to the person you're talking to. So if you think the individual you're talking to is a potential prospect, you should have a simple statement prepared that communicates your value in a way that's meaningful to that person. But if a family member or a good friend or neighbor were to ask you what you do for a living, you should also have a layman's version ready to go. You want them to walk away with a basic idea of what you do, and the reason for that is it's be a lot easier for them to think about people and organizations they know who might be able to hire you. And if you give them your standard elevator speech that's full of jargon, you're going to lose them. Make sure that your elevator statement is also clear and free of fluff and worthless jargon. And please, 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 for the love of all that's good in this world, don't sound like a walking brochure. Talk like you normally would. Be conversational. Skip all the flowery words and elaborate sentence structures. This alone will dramatically increase your chances of starting a meaningful conversation with the other person. Which leads me to the final tip. See elevator statements for what they really are. Your elevator statement is not meant to seal a deal or even to get a meeting. It's merely a conversation starter. You try to see if there's a basis for some more dialogue. And I think that's why so many people struggle with it. They're putting way too much pressure on their elevator statement to do all the heavy lifting. Think of an elevator statement as one of those food samples you sometimes get at the grocery store. It's not a meal. It's just a small bite, so you can determine if the product is worth buying or considering. Depending on what it is, you might decide to skip it altogether. Maybe it sounds interesting, so you decide to give it a try, and if you like it, you might ask the server some questions about the product. You might even pick up the box and read the nutritional information. You'll look to see how much it costs. And based on all that data, all that information, you'll then make a buying decision. Well, it's the same thing with elevator statements. It's simply a small bite, a small sample. I got to tell you, elevator statements are not dead, and I hope I've convinced you of that by now. I think they'll actually never go away, and the key to making them and to use them successfully is to see them for what they really are, and to craft short statements, not speeches, that are clear, relevant, that are meaningful, and that are tailored to the person you're addressing. Okay, so I have an assignment for you. As you'll see, All training episodes at International Freelancers Academy will wrap up with a short assignment or a helpful next step. We believe that sharing good ideas and tips is great, but what solo professionals need right now is not necessarily more ideas. There's plenty of that out there. I think what people really need right now is actionable information. They need tips, they need strategies that they can put to use right away, and also some guidance on how they can put that information to use as quickly as possible. So here's what I want you to do. Take out a sheet of paper or open up a new document in your word processing program, and I want you to answer 3 basic questions. Number 1, what do you do? Number 2, for whom? And number 3, what makes you different? For each of these questions, write as many answers as you like. In fact, the more you write, the better. You should end up with at least 1 full sheet of paper filled out completely. Next, I want you to summarize your answers for each of those questions into 1 short statement. So, for example, I'm a freelance copywriter, and I write all kinds of different marketing pieces for my clients. But when I ran through this exercise and I looked for a common thread, and I realized that I essentially write marketing pieces that help clients generate better leads and help move those leads faster through the sales cycle. So that's how I summarize the what I do part. Do the same thing with the for whom part. So you might work for a wide variety of clients, but try and find the common thread. In my case, I work with software companies, but in your case, that may not be the situation. It doesn't have to be an industry. It can be a general type of organization, such as maybe nonprofits or small companies in general, or mostly Fortune 500 companies, or mainly local small businesses, etc. So just try to find the common thread there. And then do the same thing again with the what makes you different part. So think about what you bring to the table that's different from most of your competitors. Think long and hard about why your clients hire you. Ask a few of them. What do they like about you? Look at your background also, and look at your track record. Look at your experience, your knowledge, your skills. This is often the hardest piece to define. I'll admit that. And because of that, you need to really take your time with it. In my case, I mentioned the fact that I'm an ex-software salesman. To my prospects, that's a big differentiator. It tells them that I've been out there in the trenches, that I understand how their prospects think and what it takes to get a sale moving. So I use that, and I've used it very successfully. Finally, put it all together and force yourself to narrow your message down to 1 sentence only. Again, the goal here is to be able to say your statement in 15 seconds or less, or 10 or less. 10 seconds or less is even better. Otherwise, you're just going to lose the other person. One more thing. Once you have your elevator statement down, draft another variation of that statement, which you'll use when talking with friends and family. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, having a plain and simple statement that's free of jargon will help them better understand what you do, and it will help increase the chances that they'll refer you to people they know. So, make a commitment to work on this as soon as possible. My recommendation would be to do it now while it's fresh on your mind. Otherwise, commit some time every week to go through these training episodes. I like doing this sort of stuff on Friday afternoons. I often carve out an hour or two, mid to late afternoon, to catch up on my reading or to learn something new. And since these episodes will come to you every week, setting aside that time will help you stay on top of that material and dramatically increase your chances of success. It'll ensure that you apply it and that you're able to get the most value from it. So enjoy. Have fun with this exercise, and I look forward to talking with you in another episode. This has been Ed Gandia with International Freelancers Academy. Have an awesome day.